Hello, hello, everyone. Let's see if I remember how to do this. And switch over to me. Ah, here we go. Look at this. Yay! Hello, hello, everyone. How are you today, this fine Friday morning? It's time to spill some beads with Joyce Trowbridge for Softflex Company. We're going to play with mostly wire today, though, right? Because we're going to make a tree. People have been asking about this because I've worn this a few times. I'm all, where is the camera? And so we're going to do kind of like a series and eventually get to where we can make something similar to this. But we're going to start with this tree today. Hello, hello. I see Melissa and Dana and Liz and who else is on here today? So good to see you all. Pop on and say hello. Hello, Dance in Expression. Oh, Denise. Hi, Denise. So great. We're going to play with some Tree of Life play, do some wire trees to go on to. I'm going to use these, even though they have a hole, I'm going to treat it like a cabochon and wire it so that the tree is in front of it. And we have some wonderful, we have these in the oval, the round, the rectangle, and the square, so you can kind of vary it. I'm going to play with the rectangle. It gives me a little bit more surface. Craft wire we're going to use today is, I thought I'd use my rose gold in 18 for my frame because I think it would go really good with this, but of course you can use whatever color. And you can use 20 gauge if you don't have 18, but I'm going to be using 18. I'm on the fence on what if I want to do 26 gauge or 28. A lot of times I like to do 28, but 26 works also. I thought I had my copper because I thought the anti-copper would make a really gorgeous tree over this, which is why I'm going to have my 26 here. But my original picture was with the vintage bronze in the 28 because I liked it. That tree decided to disappear, so we might just make that anyway and see what that looks like, because I think that's a really good tree color. Of course, you can do this with silver too. And mine in this is actually, okay, let's go. You don't need to see me looking through the thing. That's so funny. Let's go switch over to here. Let's do this so you can see. That's so much better. Hi, Lydia. Hi, Lee. Hello, Laura. Good to see you. Hi, Clem. Good to see you all on here. Hi, Sherry. Katney. All the wonderful people. Great to see you on here. I love it. Hi, Sherry. Yeah, we are, and Dorothy. We are, Rosalinda. I love seeing all my friends. Hi, Pam. Hi, Joan. Ah, makes me so happy. Hi, Roberta. I love it, love it, love it. All right, so we are going to do a drawing at the end. So if you are still at the end, please enter #tree and you. And if you're here at the end and hear your name, let us know you're there so that because I'm going to put some cute little like tree thing together for you, and it'll be fun. We have our coral agates. Lee, you never know what gauge you should grab. You know what? That's I think that's a personal choice the majority of the time. Even though, you know, there's recipes of all sorts of stuff that you could do, and but I also believe that you can adapt to other with what you have. I like to do my trees in 26 or thinner. So in the world of gauges, the larger the number, the thinner it is. 26 and 28 tends to be my favorite. Granted, I have done them with 24 gauge too. But these two thinner ones make it easier to do the twisting of the wire. As far as frames go, like the frame that I'm going to use to go around this, I like something heavier, like 18 gauge or 20 gauge. If I'm really lucky, sometimes I'll play with 16, but that is rougher on my hands, so I tend to stop at 18. And then, the ones in between work sometimes for other projects. It kind of really is an experiment. When it's a smaller piece, I like to go thinner. When it's a bigger piece, I like to go thicker, because that will give more stability for a larger piece. Hopefully that helps. And I always like to take whatever the project might suggest, play with it first, and then decide with those gauges, and then decide where I can change it so that it works for me. Hi, Becky, Mary Freighting to do you too. Oh, so great. So I'm gonna go with this one. I probably will do I really want the square too, but we might do the round. I'm trying to think of what would be a good size for, mandrel. That kind of works. We might do that. Let's see. So first thing that we're going to do is you can do this around your piece, but sometimes working around your piece is a little hard because the stones are, especially ones that don't have holes, are very slippery. So if you're looking to do a frame, you can also always trace your piece around a piece of paper so that you have an idea. It does not have to be perfect. As you can see, my trace was not perfect at all. Now, I'm not going to try to use this as my line. That is the basic of what this is. My frame is going to be smaller. We're going to make a frame that goes behind it, and then the tree is going to wrap around it. You've never made a tree of life before, Becky? Ah, awesome. I'm glad you are joining us because they are so fun to do. I'm going to talk about different ways to do it. We are inspired by my honey's tree right here that I've worn a few times and caught people's attention. And so I'm going to talk about how he gets his trees the way he does, because he's pretty amazing with the trees. He took we're going to do the basic form today, and he's gone beyond, right? So it's pretty exciting. Oh, yes. Good reminder. Next week is Customer Appreciation Week, right? So you need to go and check that out. I cannot wait. I get to be part of that Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Well, and Thursday too for the live sale. I'm really, really, really excited to do so much with that. Okay, so I'm going to move those off to the side. I'm going to use this as a plan. When I like to start small when I do circles, if something way smaller, this actually is probably perfect. If I could get it to that size there. My goal is to make something a little bit inwards. So I'm going to use this. I'm going to draw a space for this one. And then I'm going to use this as a guide. And this kind of helps You can also do this around your piece if you want to. You don't have to do it with the paper. I just know that those that have struggled because it is so slippery sometimes to get wire on a rock, that this can be very helpful for them. Hi, Anne. Good to see you on here. So I'm going to make a frame for this one and for this one. So and I'm going to use my 18 gauge. Again, you can use 20 gauge. 20 gauge would be perfect for this size. 20 gauge will work for this size. But anything bigger than this size, I would definitely do 18. Okay. Just to give yourself a little more heft and hold. And don't forget, we have our $15 off our kits. Oh my gosh, we have wonderful kits. We still have some of our California Dreaming Customer Appreciation Week kits for next week. And we have lots of things we can make with that. Let's see, I'm going to wrap this around. So I'm using the smaller part, even though I am going to want to get it to this bigger part. I'm using the smaller part because what I find that if you start small, it's much easier to make it grow into the size that you want, which right there, that's perfect. And then this one, I'm going to take a new piece. So with the code, you can get, let's see, where's that again? I'm going to put that back up real quick. So 15% off with Get Kit code for on all of our, majority of our beading design. I think all of them made it. Yeah, we have our Dia de los Muertos, which is our TGBE one. We have our Grateful Heart, our Gone Batty, California Dreamy, and Just Peachy. Even a couple Just Peachy. I'm so surprised that we still have some Just Peachy. Those are so beautiful. All of them are. I think we've really outdid ourselves with our kits lately. What do you think? Do you think we did? I'm cutting off a piece. All the pieces that I'm cutting off are like 6 to 8 inches. Hey, Sandra. Good to see you. Hi, Sharon. Hi, Phil. Good to see you. Absolutely. Masking, Katney, a lot of people use masking tape. If you do masking tape, I would do painter's tape because it leaves less goop on it. Masking tape sometimes you'll have to do some cleanup. Most stones can handle the cleanup with like rubbing alcohol or something, but there's some stones that aren't. So I have a tendency not to use it myself, but I totally understand the use of it. I know I think we've done so amazing with our kits. So I'm going to use this as my guide, and I'm going to start bending it. And I'm not going to get I'm not going to go totally straight. This is a soft rectangle. So if it's not totally straight, it's okay. Now I like to hold it in place and bend the wire up. I just find that sometimes makes that softer bend that I like. Oh, the yellow frog tape is great too. Good to know. Yes, the autumn themed kits are great. Our Gone Batty is so fun. And our Dia de los Muertos kit for TGBE has amazing fun things in it. Oh, we got to collaborate with a couple people and have some great things. All right, so now I have my frames, right? I don't need my paper anymore. I'm moving that out of the way. Oh, Sharon, you're so sweet. Thank you. I try to be interesting. I don't know. I just do random things that are on my mind. And then up, I'm bending. So at the point where they're meeting, I'm bending both of these up so that it just is like that. Now, one thing that I could do is I can wrap those, but this one I'm going to leave like this because I want to, I'm going to take a new piece of wire and wrap that part together and then use this as a bail. But we're going to move on to this one and do the same thing, just going upwards, right where they meet. Oh, not this one. I'm going to take this one and close it by wrapping that wire around. I'm just showing two different styles so you can figure out your choice, what you like, because everybody has a different method. I think this method that I'm going to be doing on the circle is going to be a little more user-friendly, a little more, or I should say beginner-friendly, wire-friendly, in a sense. So that's why I'm showing that one. This is going behind, so I'm just going to double check and like, oh yeah, perfect. See how lovely that fits behind there. And then up here, I'm going to put one of these roller beads because I have it and it fits on the 18 and it's easy, but you can do any bead you want, or you don't even have to put a bead. I just thought it'd be nice to add a little bead. We're going to make a little circle or loop. And that's where we're going to hang things from, or hang it for your necklace. And just wrap that around. 18 gauge is a little tight to wrap, so if you can't do it with your fingers, don't be afraid to grab another pair of pliers to wrap that around. I don't know how I was able to do it with my fingers today, to be honest. Push. Little in, and voila, now we have a frame that's totally complete. This one's not complete, but that's okay. It doesn't need to. I'm going to show you what it needs, what I'm going to do with it. We're going to do trees two ways. The most simplest, easiest tree to do is this method that I'm going to do right here. So, and if you, and I'm making my wireframes just because out of like steps so that we can get to something like this eventually in the future. I discussed it with Thomas. What we're going to do is a series of this, doing different elements, and then at the end we'll have one where we can use all those elements in putting together something, and we'll put that in a playlist so that we have so you can have them in a row. So if you missed one or something, you can catch up. Do I have spinach in my dinner? I eat a lot of spinach. That's true. But Papa used to be my favorite too. I try to make wire wrapping easy because I had to learn the hard way, so I'd rather like share. Okay, so this is going to be a really, really small tree. So the 18 gauge is going to be, or the, not 18, 28 gauge is going to be better for this one, right? And so I'm going to cut pieces. I want them, I always like to measure what this is and then double it and actually quadruple it, because I want to be able to make it all like wookie walkie woo, right? Like it's been blown in the tree, or in the wind. So I'm going to do for this one, that seems about right because I want them doubled, and that's going to give a good amount. Yeah. That has a weird thing. Let's, and I'm going to cut. So I cut a piece. I want to say this is probably about 5 inches, just to give you a rough idea. This is probably like an inch right there. A word of the day. Oh, yeah. Give it to me. I will give you new words. New words. They're Joyce words. We're going to start a trend, right? Well, hopefully, this will help make you feel better about Tree of Lives. I am going to cut off 7 because that's just the weird number that I do for this style. I don't know why, but we're going to talk about other theories when I get to this other one. You know, the wire does take practice, and I've been practicing for a very long time. And I love wire. So I love sharing the things that I have found that makes it easier for me. So hopefully this will do that for you. So I have 7 pieces that are about 5 inches that are going onto this. And remember, I'm doing a smaller tree because this is a smaller space here. So I use the 28. You can do this with 26. I've done this size with 26 also. It works great. But I decided I wanted mine to be a little bit more, a little smaller. Now, what I'm going to do with this, each one of these, this is going to be 7, that's going to turn into 14 because we're going to use these as double. This is the easiest way to add to a piece, and it's to just fold it in half. And then at this very bottom, we're just going to twist it until you have like, maybe a couple millimeters. We're not going to do too much more twisting, just a little bit. And then we're going to add another one. Oh, I cannot wait to see, you know, for those that have done Tree of Life, please share on a VIB group. We would love to see what you have made. And if you end up making something from this tutorial, I would love to see it. And I'm doing the same thing, getting it really, holding it really close to the top. And I'm just going to spin this around to make it nice and tight. Instead of trying to twist my wire, that sometimes gets it really loose. Holding it up against and twisting my frame actually helps me twist it a little tighter. Hey, Dora, I'm so glad that you made it too in a live. That's wonderful. Ah, you're welcome, Kimberly. We love to share it. So again, I like to hold it really close and to use the frame to twist because I can keep those tighter and smaller. If I do it over here, which is more intuitive, sometimes that twist kind of goes looser and goes up further. And I don't want to twist it further yet, you know, I'm just going to let those kind of hang out. Hang out. And just kind of take, and this is how we're getting our roots of our tree. Oh, be careful, you go. Whoopsie, I forgot to get it even. Make sure you get it even. Steve and I get too excited about how this is going. Oh, I love doing trees with gemstones. Wonderful. Love it. I think I've seen some of yours from the past. And then we had our we did have our Tree of Life kit that brought in some really great ones too. And the last one, make sure you get them even, Joyce. I'm going so fast I keep forgetting to do them even, but that's okay. Now I got all of those. So I for this technique, I like to do the 7, but you can, of course, do more if you want to, or, you know, if you want your tree to be a little bit more substantial, or you can do whatever. Now, at this point, you could do a couple things. You can make some of your roots go together so you have a bigger root. So I'm going to take these two and twist them together. So this is a bigger root. And then I might take these two and do that too. So I got 2 and twist them together, because sometimes that's fun to make them different sizes. And now I have all my little wires hanging down in a wire craziness that's going to feel really crazy. Now I'm going to start twisting them together, but I'm going to leave these kind of spread out a little bit. So if I leave them spread out, so instead of just holding this, that's going to get them too tight. I'm going to hold here, and then I'm going to twist with my finger and try to just twist right there and not do anything here. We don't need too much of a trunk, because we want to remember this is like our tree, right? And now we do need this to go around. So you want those roots to kind of, because they're coming from behind the stone and going to the front. We want to make sure that we kind of start leaving some space for that. So if we have to unbend it a little bit, we can untwist this a little bit so that we can. Oh, thank you. Oh, have a good appointment, and I hope you catch the replay later. This is going to be available to watch. And then just bend it around so that we know that, yes, that's going to be right where I want it. So that looks good. I'm going to take my round nose pliers and I'm going to tweak these a little because I want them to be gnarly. I like gnarly roots and branches. So I'm just going to take and just kind of wonky it out. And I'll probably do a little bit more once it's in place, but that at least gets me close at the bottom. Now I got I like to go over twist my trunk and start adding like some bumps, because I'm a California girl, so my trees tend to be more like oak trees where they are growing in weird twists and stuff. You may want to do these trees to look like other trees in your area. That is a-okay. And then I'm going to start separating my branches out. Now I'm letting these kind of like, woohoo, look at that. I think that looks great. I didn't even like place them. I just kind of like pull it. Don't over force it, right? So that looks pretty good. Now, since these are a big bundle right here, I'm going to twist these around so that that looks like a big branch, and then open them up. If you can't get these open, grab an awl to poke, or a pin or something to open those up. But now, like, see how I got that nice thick branch to start with and then separate it out? I'm going to do another one here. And just kind of let it gnarly up. You can take these and just let that be a full-on, mostly branch. I'm going to do a couple where it's just 2 twists, and I tend to twist them all in the same direction. Don't reverse your direction. So I'm always twisting kind of clockwise. That's definitely one of Mikey's traits too, with his. And then twist those a little bit together there. And I'm really liking the way that looks right there. Yeah, no trees are alike, right? Hi, Zach. Welcome. All right, now mine's starting to look like it's on a cliff because it moved over. I kind of like that it looked like a cliff. So do I want to make it look like it's on the side of a cliff? We could have like that dark part of the right there, and so it kind of goes with that, like it's off of a cliff. Or do I move it to the center again? Let's get this around and see, form that around. Do we like it off-centered, like it's on the side of a cliff? Or should I move it to the center, scoot that over to the center and have it coming up from the bottom? Oh my gosh, this would be you're right, Melissa. Oh, it looks like an off-center. Let's do the off-center. Let's move that back. That was kind of fun, wasn't it? And then I'm going to make that dark piece right there be like it's the cliff that it's attached to. All right, so now we are going to start putting this in. Now this is where you may choose to put a little bit of tape down for a moment. But I am going to just hold it in place, bring it to the back, and I'm going to start taking. Now my fingers sometimes do not do this well, so I am going to use my pliers and guide it under the frame and pull. And right now I'm only doing one wrap because I want to be able to adjust it. If I wrap each one of these more than that, and I'm not doing it tight, I'm only kind of taut, but I want to be able to adjust it. And this is just to get them in place, to have it hold. so that we can center things. And then we're going to go over here and do the same thing with these. When I grab the wire with my pliers, I actually grab it very gently. I'd rather drop it a few times than mar it. If I hold it too tight, I tend to mar the wire or even break the wire because this is such thin gauge. Now this one right here is part of that big branch, so I'm going to do these ones together, these three together. Maybe this one I can do with my fingers. The funny thing about wire is like it tends to make my hands sweat a little. And under the camera, it makes it even more so. And so then I'm like, ooh, don't drop this. It's too slippery. But that's okay. We spill the beads on here all the time. We're good. It very possibly is that. And then I'm also trying not to pull fast. I'm trying to pull slow. That way, if it starts to kink, I catch that you could feel the, you know, if that's a problem, and you can stop it early, you know, quicker if you do it slower. Yeah. It's a lighter touch than we think. And I think because we tend to drop stuff and we tend to have problems, we forget to make it lighter. All right. Whoopsie. See, this is why I don't do it too tight because I did it way too in there. We need to move these up. Move these up. Move these up. Move that to the side. These ones should go across over on this other side. So I am going to undo. I'm going to stick my pliers under this big branch because the big branch, I think, should go over on this other side. Yeah, it needs to go on this side. I had it on the wrong side. And that's why we are only twisting it around the back once so that we can fix any of those issues, right? Oh, you're welcome. So glad that you joined us. And the replay will be available to watch after the live. All right, let's see. Let's go back to the front. All right, so now we are here. It's starting to look like a tree, but there's two things that I might have changed. I might have made my root, I might have made my trunk a tiny bit bigger, but I'm not like mad at it. Ooh, don't knock that. But I want to make sure that these are gnarly oak trees. So let's get that one in. There we go. I'm going to start doing the same thing I did for the roots down here. I could have made my roots a tiny bit bigger too, but I am not mad at that. We're gonna go with that because it still looks great. I am still happy with my tree. We're going to just kind of gnarly it up, just doing some twisties. I'm going to twist them in a different direction over here. Get that going. Separate these, make them kind of look like they're on top of each other. And again, I don't want to nick the wire so much, so I'm not doing this really hard with my pliers. I'm doing it kind of really soft and letting go so that it doesn't mark them as much. All right, so there you go. I got that right. And so the next thing to do is just to make sure, if you really want to make this super centered, that's where I probably should have had my roots a little bit longer so that it went up, but it's centered enough for me. I'm happy. It looks great. Now it's a matter of just wrapping each one of these at least 2 more times. And just wrapping around, and you're just going to secure those. And that will be done once I secure those. So I'm going to finish securing those later because that I believe everybody understands what that is, right? You're just going to take these and wrap around the base 2 to 3 more times, cut off the extra. Yes, you could totally put some tape around your tools. Round nose pliers, you don't necessarily need it as much, and that's what I did most of these on. But if you do use your chain nose, you could. I sometimes will also just sand down these edges a little bit so that they're not as just a tiny bit, just so that they're not as sharp. And just secure each one of those. Okay. And so this, I think, is a really great way to get your, I'm going to just push those all to the back so that you can just see how that's going to turn out right there. We're going to move that like that. And once I get it secure, that shouldn't move as much. And then you have your piece all in there, and it looks great. Oh, good. Okay. So yeah, I am just wrapping it around the frame. So like, let's get this part right here. We'll do this one right here. To secure them all, I'm just taking this little end, wrapping it through under the frame. Because I already wrapped, there's enough gap that you should be able to pop this through. And you're going to try to this is like the most tedious part of all about tree making, is the wrapping of the branches. Well, and the roots when we go to do the other. And you're just going to get that in there and that one does not want to go back in there. But you're going to do this, try to wrap this, pull this nice and tight around, and try to wrap that at least 2 or 3 times. That one seems to be 2 times, so we're going to call that happy and cut the extra and then push that little end in. And when I push the end in, I kind of like twist it around in the same direction that I'm wrapping, so it gets it nice and tight. So hopefully that helps with that. So that is, personally, one of my favorite ways to do it, because it makes it easy with the roots going in this direct with this. It does make it an even number. You could do it kind of like, if you wanted to, you could do 9, and then you'll do the theme on this. And so the theme on what that Mike does for his trees is that he tries to make it a division of 9. So I'm going to grab my anti-copper in 26 gauge, and I'm going to show you a different way to do the tree. So this, in pieces like this, usually make the tree separate and then add it, so you don't hook it to the frame right away and build it off of the frame like I did here. And what I'm going to do is, it's just like twice as long, or maybe a little bit, you know, as what you want there. You could go maybe probably the 3 times is good too. Oh, I lost my cutters. Oh, they fell. Oh, well, use these ones. And you want this to be divisible by 9. I'm going to do 18 on this because I think that will be a good size tree. You can also do 27. $36. But the more you do, remember there's more wire for you to end. Oh my gosh, yes. Trees can be, and you know, I'm doing these naked trees, right? Like this, which is perfect actually for our fall and winter spooky, especially spooky season. But you can definitely add beads to these if you want. There's nothing wrong with adding beads. And we have that black wire that would make a really cool spooky tree too. Naked trees with ghosts. I love it. Okay, there's 9. Now I need to do 9 more. You have to cut, these are going to be like individually, and I'm making these extra long. I'd rather have extra long in order to do all the wrapping, just to make it easier. Or the gunmetal, yes, the gunmetal. But even like, even, you know, you can mix and match metals too. Like this tree right here has silver, antique brass, and copper mixed in with this tree. So that's kind of fun to do too, is mixing your colors. Five. I will pass that on to Sarah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, so with this method, you take all, so I have 18. So you got to remember, this is 26 gauge, so it's thicker than our 28. Plus I have 4 more wires than what this trunk. So this trunk is going to be so much smaller than this. It makes sense because this is a larger piece, right? And so for this style, this method of making trees, you get your bundle and you start from the center and you start twisting just the trunk part, and you get your trunk, right? Now the reason for the divisible by 3 is because a lot of times trees kind of grow in, or by 9, is that it'll make the divisible by 3 easier, because you'll go, since I had you'll divide this into 3 sets, so 18, there's going to be 6 in each one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I might have counted wrong, but that's okay. So then you have your 3, because trees kind of branch out in 3 a lot of times. So now I have 3 large ones that I'm and always twist in the same clockwise. And then you can divide the next set into 3 and so forth. So like now these are going to be in 3, and then and twist them. And then they can be then they just divide it in half on those, because I did do 18, which is an even number. This could be, it's for starting, you're right. This could be a better way, but this has a lot of ending, so that's why sometimes I don't know if like which one is a better method. That's why I want to show you both, because I think everybody has like one way is going to resonate better, right? I think because of the connecting onto here, I find that one to be a little easier for me, just because I don't have to now wrap all of these wires, because we're going to end up having to wrap 36 wires, 36 up here and 36 in the root. So that can be daunting for some of us, like me. And that's why I think that one's a little easier. But you're right. This method of division really does help our brains figure out how to do it, right? Does the wire hurt my fingers? There's a lot of twisting, and I'm doing a lot right now really fast in a short time to show you. So in a way, yes, I say take it your time doing it. You don't have to hold things nearly as hard as we think. So that was part of it. I also like to, when my hands start to kind of cramp up in this position, because I'm in this a lot, I take a rubber band around my fingertips and then just open them up slowly and close them. Open up slowly and close them. But you need that resistance of a rubber band. And sometimes I'll put 2 on there, and you just kind of do these like little And that really helps with those, like, especially when your hands start to cramp up in that pinchy position that we do in our beading. All right, so there's my tree there, and I am going to kind of do the same thing with the bottom. I'm going to make my roots not as much, but see, I wanted to kind of point out this one here. You can also make branches go on top, like this branch was over here and brought over here. Play around, and then this one goes way up here, and this one goes, like, they don't have to, you don't have to just keep them like this. You can decide that you want this one to go across and this one to come back this way. And look how it changes the way it is. So play around with where you open them, and they start to open up here and they move up. Don't be afraid to, like, really spider web them. Make your little gnarlies. Like, these are your, you know, once you're twisted, again, these are like little, part of it is like gnarlies with twisting. My other way to do gnarlies is over twist it, right? And then when you go to undo it, like if I go to undo this trunk a little bit, it poofs out the gnarliness, right? And it adds, so let's, like, take this one and, no, not that one. Where's the one I did? This one right here. Move this one over here. My branches are getting tangled. And then I'm undoing some of it and undoing. See, look how gnarly that looks when I undid it. So don't, you know, you don't have to keep them just as tightly twisted. Help with undoing, getting that gnarliness by undoing some of your twist. And see how, like, wrinkly and fun that turns it into? And then divide them up. Oh my gosh, I love that. You can totally make this into ants for sure. I can't wait to see what else you do with these. So don't forget that technique too. It's a combination of using your pliers to manipulate, or the wire and making it more gnarly just by over twisting and then pulling it apart. So that's going to get onto this one. I am going to work on that a little bit more. And then once I have it, we're going to get this into place. This is where sometimes tape is good too, because you can tape this right here and then work your way to the back and make sure that your wires cover the thickness, the thickness of the stone, and then wrap it around here. I'm going to show how I do my bail off camera and in the blog, so that you can see how this bail is going to do, because I'm going to do something, well, it's not quite like this, but it's going to be V'd over. I want to do a double, kind of like that. So I'm going to twist it like that, and then I'm going to use some of the wire to wrap it into place. In fact, I can just kind of cut it right here, cut it right here. So I'm going to cut those down, push it up against like that, and then I'm going to use some of the wire to wrap around that top. So I'll take pictures of that to put in the blog so you can kind of see how that is. And I will do pictures for the steps of this for the blog, so that you can see how those stages are. Because we are running out of time. It is 10:30 and we need to see who is the winner of our hashtag tree, right? Oh, wonderful, Dana. It's great. I love that we can share what we do together. All right, let us see who has done our hashtag tree. Let's see. Share. We got 51 people. We got 5, 10, 4, 3, 2, 1. Draw. Who is our lucky winner? Dorothy! Dorothy, are you here watching still? Are you watching? Say hi down in there. Oh, look at you. You just got your name in there so quick right at the end. Love it. Yay! Congratulations, Dorothy. You want to send me at Joyce at softflakescompany.com your shipping information, and I will bring it into the office next Tuesday. We're gonna get you a nice little set of fun things to play with. I like to kind of do mine thing. So congratulations. So good to have you win. Thank you so much. So that is my trees, my trees, my story of my trees. Next week we will not have a spill the beads because it is customer appreciation week. We have a lot of other fun things going, but the week after I will be back for spill the beads with some more fun. Normally it is Fridays 9:30 a.m. Pacific time, 12:30 p.m. Eastern time. This week we did not have a live sale, but we have an epic one planned for next week, for Thursday at 1 p.m. Pacific time, and what is it? 4 p.m. Eastern time. I bet if I look, our call schedule should be on here. Look at this. Look at that. That's our schedule. Look at that. I am going to be on, we're going to have 11 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Pacific time, and 3 p.m. Pacific time, just about every day except for Thursday, because we have our live sale on Thursday, so we will not have the 3 p.m. timing, but we are going to be having so much fun. We have a lot to on all of those days. We're going to have so much fun. I get to see you at least 3 times. Until next time, enjoy. Can't wait. Don't forget to get your Yes, post your trees on VIB. I want to see those trees. I know you can do it. And then let's see. Oh, good. You just got that list. That's awesome. I cannot wait to play with you next week with all of that fun. And then don't forget, we got 15% off of our beading design kits with the code GETKIT. And that is good until Sunday. Until next time. Happy beading. Spill some beads, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.